G'day and welcome. This is the Holden Volt, the electric car that Holden's released, and it's pretty neat actually. I'm been impressed. I've driven it for about a quarter of an hour, I suppose. I'm now outside of out away from Holden's facilities in Elizabeth in South Australia. I'm now in the little town of Gawler, and about to take off. This car is quiet on the road, obviously being an electric car. It's always electric, even when the petrol sort of generator kicks in to deliver more charge to it. The car is always running in electric mode. So let's head off, and away we go. One of the first things that I notice when I'm in this car is that it's a little bit noisy. Road noise is very obvious. Now that's probably because there's no car noise. I'm so used to an engine, a petrol or diesel engine, making noise that I'm not noticing the road noise. Now that petrol or diesel engine noise isn't there, all I've got is road noise, and so it becomes more obvious. Which is an interesting thing. Now, the car itself has been geared for a more upmarket audience. It's fully appointed leather seats, sat nav, Bose sound system. I mean, you name it, it's got it. And it's a very sporty looking interior as well. It's predominantly black leather interior, black dash, all that sort of thing, but white sort of center console. And white trim around the doors. I don't know whether that would change. I'd imagine that would stay the same no matter what colour the car is, what outside colour the car is that you order. So it's pitched at an upmarket audience. But this road noise. Now, I haven't, to be fair to Holden, I haven't driven a Prius or any other car that's a hybrid, so I don't know what the road noise is like in those cars. So it could be just exactly the same. In which case, well, good on Holden for delivering something that's is at a market standard. So I can't say definitively that this is a disappointment. But it's just that, yes, I am aware that there is road noise. There you go. You win some, lose some. The car itself to drive is lovely. It's got a nice turning circle to it. It's easy to drive. Even it comes with two modes, a sort of a normal mode and a sports mode. There's also a hold mode, which to do with battery regeneration. I've no idea what the performance is like in that, because I haven't used it. But in sports mode and in normal mode, even in normal mode, you put your foot down at the lights and you are pushed back into your seat. In sports mode, you're pushed back even further into your seat. So it's got plenty of oomph in it. There's no doubt about that, and it can get up to the speeds that it needs to get up to very, very quickly. Which is impressive for a car that is geared perhaps not to the rev head. The batteries, the electric batteries, only have a relatively short range considering the size and the expanse of Australia. So it's something like about 77 kilometres, I think they say. But if you consider that the average Australian living as we do in urban areas, the average journey, or the average day, we would only drive about 50 kilometres, then the 77 is more than adequate. So then what you do is you drive your car to work, you then leave your car at work all day, you then drive your car home at night, and you connect it up to your electric power at home, and you charge it up. And it's a Holden estimate that it's about the cost of a cup of coffee. It's the same sort of cost as if you left your computer and your monitor on all day and all night. If you left them on all day and all night, then that's the same sort of charge as charging the Volt from scratch. You don't need to completely discharge the battery before you charge it up again. And Holden say that they warranty the battery for 8 years, but it's probably going to last a lot longer than that. But they certainly will warrant it for 8 years, which is a fair long time for a battery. Okay, here we go. Because of the size and shape of the battery, it's a T-shape, and it's fairly tall. It needs housing in the car, so the center console, is sort of covers it from the driver's perspective. But in the back, you're not going to get 3 adults or even 3 kids across. It's just 2 seats in the back, so it's a 4-seater car. It's not a family car as such, unless of course you've just got 2 kids. But it's not your typical Commodore or something like that where you can get 3 in the back. You can't. You can only get 2 in the back. But that's not really a major problem, because with the car being designed, I think, as it is, or certainly marketed to a more affluent, upmarket audience, then it'll only be used probably for short runs to and from the office, or to meet clients or something like that, rather than doing long trips as a family. That's how I imagine that it would be used. If we go back to charging the battery for a moment, or charging the car up, you can do it at home. It comes in a couple of modes, so you can charge it over 6 hours, or you can charge it over 10 hours, so leave it on overnight. You can even set it in the settings of the charging so that it only charges after a certain time, so that you can, for example, take advantage of low rates. Or alternatively, you can set it to charge so that, say you're going to be leaving the house at 7:30 in the morning, well then it'll figure out how much and how long that charge is to recharge the car, and start the charging process so that it is ready and fully charged when you awake and are ready to go in the morning. So that's pretty clever. Holden's have got a deal going with an organisation called, and I'll just flick my notes, Better Place. Now, it's an Israeli company that's expanding through Australia. And what they do is they have car charging places that you can go to. They're setting them up. Certainly at the moment they've got them in Canberra and in Melbourne, but I think they're looking to expand and be national, where you can go and charge your car. You pay a certain amount to them and they charge your car for you, and they use renewable energy. So even in somewhere like Victoria or in Melbourne, where you've got Victoria dependent to some large extent on coal and coal-generated electricity, this Better Place company will apparently buy credits, renewable energy credits, and charge your car, so that they've offset the fact that they're using the grid and the brown coal, which is pretty neat. I know that here in Adelaide, in the Central Market, there's a couple of parking spots that are being put aside where you get free parking while you charge your car. So you can go off and do your shopping, charge your car up, and you get free parking in the Central Market. Now that's obviously set up by the Adelaide City Council and our particularly progressive Lord Mayor Stephen Yarwood, so that encouraging the use of electric cars within the city, cut out on pollution and cut out on energy use, which is fantastic. I thoroughly approve. The car itself is very comfortable to drive. It's you've got full access to sound. It's all there if you need it. It's not playing at the moment, but there's if the sound is there if you need it, you can listen away to your heart's content. The sound system is very good. Let's just have a look. Jackson's Last Stand. What's that? Listening to that. As you would expect, the sound system being a Bose sound system is very good. And so the country miles, which I'm sort of doing at the moment, driving from Gawler up towards Clare, it's very comfortable. The car sits nicely on the road, doesn't bounce around. Just, yes, very comfortable. Very impressed. Holden have said that they've got 50 dealers around Australia. They're going to sell and service and support the Volt, which I think is excellent. I'm not convinced that it's a great car for the country, as in the outback or the regional areas, but certainly for the city areas, I think this is an excellent car. It's compact without being. You don't feel as though you're in a claustrophobic cabin. It's very spacious. There's a reasonable amount of glassware, so that you've got reasonable amount of vision. It's not fantastic vision, but certainly a reasonable amount. And it's very, very comfortable car, especially with the leather seating, of course. Seating is, all the usual mod cons of heated seats, different split air conditioning, split climate control system. All in all, well done.